Congratulations! If you clicked on this video, then you are one step closer to becoming a true idol. Or are you? My name is Paida, and I am a J-pop idol. I've been doing this for like a billion years. I've performed all over America. I've performed in Japan, Australia, a couple of other countries. I have original music that's in Japanese and English, and this is my dream. This is my entire life, and I'm not giving up anytime soon. I get asked a lot about how to become an idol, what's it take, what can I do to realize my idol dreams, what do I need to do to learn Japanese. I even get messages from people like, oh, I want to one day become an idol as big and successful as you are. And I appreciate the sentiment. But the reality of the situation is that I objectively, in the scope of things, I'm really not all that successful, and I still have a long way to go, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Oh. I definitely want to help everyone. I am very much a person that wants to push down all of the doors and leave them wide open for everybody to come in. But at the same time, if your first step into being an idol is asking me how to become an idol, or to, I guess, watch a bunch of videos of other people with their advice on how to become an idol, you're not really even at step one, because I don't really have advice that's gonna help you to become a top idol tomorrow. The truth is, there's not a clear answer. The truth is, there's not a clear path. And the truth is, it's not easy. The last thing I wanna do is discourage anybody from trying to pursue idol. If that's really your dream, if that's really what you wanna do, you should absolutely pursue it. I love being an idol. I love making music. I love writing lyrics. I love dancing. I love singing. I love everything that being an idol is, and what it means to me to be an idol, I guess. And I think it's good that people are asking those questions. It's definitely good that you're interested and not afraid to take that first step of asking questions, but I see a trend with a lot of people where they are just constantly asking people for advice and asking people for questions and looking up videos on advice and what the first step should be without really actually taking that first step. And all you're really doing is holding yourself back. There is no magical amount of information that I or anyone else can give you that's really going to take you from step 0 to step 1. The key is that you just kind of have to decide one day that you want to be an idol, and you just have to go for it. Honestly, I feel like a lot of things I'm gonna say apply to very many different parts of life. If I want to give like my top 3 pieces of advice for someone who's trying to pursue idol goals, I don't know. I didn't write a script for this video. I'm just kind of winging it, to be honest. My step 1, honestly, would be to stop asking everybody for advice. There were, of course, many other Kaigai idols before me, many other idols before me. We weren't really using the term Kaigai back then, but I think that's how people would classify them now. And when I was starting out, I had no idea how to get started. There weren't any like idol festivals at the conventions back then. There weren't a lot of there weren't any standalone events, if I'm being completely honest. And it was just kind of me yearning, you know, seeing all of the cute idols on the internet, yearning for that type of life for myself, and being completely lost on how to do something like that. And it was frustrating for sure. But I mean, at the same time, even with everything that we have today, it's still kind of frustrating figuring out like where my place in all of it is, and what my goals are, what I've achieved versus what I'm trying to strive for now. it's just a continuation of frustration and a process of pain forever until you die. This is a really bad video. I will say that you shouldn't feel like discouraged about anything that I'm saying, because the situation is just so different these days that if it's something as simple as, oh, I just want to start performing, you don't need any YouTube video to tell you how to do that, you know? You can just apply to perform, you know, at a convention or event that's going on. They usually have open applications, and then you can just start like that. For me, I was performing in the hallways at conventions with or without permission, just because that's what I wanted to do. I will kind of do anything the first time if I think it's okay. Obviously, if it's end up not being okay, I will take the L and adjust for the future. But this video is not about me and my journey or anything. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not at the same time. The first step is always going to be your mindset. And I think that's even more important as Idol gets more widespread here in the States. That is to say that when I started doing Idol, it was so niche that everybody that was doing it already was very accepting of different types of people, different social, racial backgrounds, different body types, the different concepts. We all were just like, yeah, we are happy to have everybody because there's so few of us. We will, you know, we'll take everyone with love because we just want our community to grow. And while I don't think that sentiment has fully changed in the Idol community, there is just so much more eyes on a lot of us because the internet's different, and as things grow, new people who don't really understand the roots come in, and they have a different perspective of what is the right and wrong thing, and heads clash and miscommunications happen, misunderstandings happen. And while it's unfortunate, the only thing you can really do as an individual is just kind of adapt and continue to go forward. In my case, I have a lot more eyes on me now just because of how the internet has changed since the beginning, and it's really scary. I don't know how to process it, honestly. It's just very terrifying being perceived. I'm obviously happy for it, you know. As an idol, I want to find success. This is my entire life, so I need to find some type of success in it. But it is very scary and very daunting. I'm sorry it takes so long to say very little thing. But mindset is the most important thing that's going to get you through any challenge that you face in life, period, but especially as an idol. If you are not Japanese, if you are not conventionally attractive, even if you are, people will be so confused by what you're doing, and it will be frustrating, but you will meet people in and out of the community that will have some type of opinion to say. They will have something very out of pocket to say, and you need to remember why you're doing this. You know, what are your goals? And the reason why it's hard to give advice is because those goals and everyone's even idea of what an idol is are different for everyone. I'm doing this because I want to make cute music and be cute and try to spread my love of the earth for as long as I can, for as long as this body will move, you know? Everybody's goals are different. And people online don't get that, and they don't care, and they just want to make a comment and move on. Or they want to stalk your profile and say the meanest things to you all the time. I'm not oblivious to how I look or how this appears to somebody that has no idea what's going on. I know it can be really surprising. Oh my God. Okay. I don't have the time or the energy or the desire to explain to every person that's seeing me for the first time in their life what I'm doing and just reinvent the wheel for every stranger that comes online and has a very strong, ignorant opinion of this, you know? I know that I am not Japanese. I know that I am a Black woman. The horror. I know that I'm not the skinniest person in the world, but you know, I've been getting comments on the size of my body. I was extremely thin at the start of my idol journey, and people were telling me I was overweight since day one. So it's really important to have a strong mindset and to really be focused on what you're doing for, I guess, the right reasons, and not because you're trying to like get a lot of approval from strangers or for people online. It is impossible to make everyone happy, and that should have never been your goal in the first place. I am only here for the people that are rooting for me, and I'm my #1 fan. So that keeps me going more than anything else. What else do I want to say? Oh, yes. You need to mix being realistic with being extremely delusional and come to a happy middle. And that's gonna be a constant battle. With everything that I know I am not, with everything that I can list as my shortcomings or would be perceived as an obstacle, I can list twice or 3 times as many things that I know I am good at or I know that I can accomplish. Anyone can do anything if they really put their mind to it, but you have to be realistic about when you can accomplish it. And the only way being realistic really aligns with your delusion and with your goals is just that you try to do it. It's just that you take that first step, because especially when talking about idol, the path is so different for all of us. And for me, I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning. I'm sure it's not too different for you, but our paths are gonna be so different for so many reasons. You just kind of have to take that first step. You'll gain experience, you'll gain knowledge. You might even make 1 mistake or 2 mistakes or a bunch of mistakes, but you can take all of that experience and knowledge you gain from that first step and go into the next thing with knowing that you're 1 step closer to achieving your main goal and even how to get there. Okay, now that, like last time I made this mistake, so now I know going forward that I should maybe pivot this way instead because that's more realistic for me. For example, you are already an idol who's got their first show lined up and you have received an offer to do a 20-minute performance at this event, and you're like, oh my God, my dreams are finally coming true. I wanna get an original outfit and I wanna perform 20 minutes of my own original music, and I wanna have like this big stage with all these decorations on it and these crazy outfit transitions and stuff. You need to stop. You need to slow down. If this is your very first show and you have no experience prior, a lot of that is probably impossible, and that's completely fine. The fact that you even have the chance to perform is such a win on its own, but you need to be realistic about where you are, you know? Have you started making music? How far are you in making music? We shouldn't even be talking about that right now. What songs do you love to do that will be easy for you to perfect or just have performance ready by the time of this event, you know? How much time is there from now to the event? What's your budget for a costume? What's the timeline for the costume? You know, there's a lot of things that you need to think about that someone can tell you, but you're not really going to fully understand until you just try to do it yourself. And you're gonna run into those bumps in the road. And none of it should deter you. All of it should strengthen your delusion and just help you mold yourself a little bit more realistically to achieving that goal. Does that make sense? I hope so. All that is to say, nothing is impossible, and you should never give up on your dreams. On more than one occasion, I have performed as an idol in Japan, and I think a lot of people that ask me how to become an idol is simply because they've seen me do it in Japan so many times. I'm gonna be so for real right now. If you have the money to just fly to Japan, you can get a performance tomorrow. It is really not difficult. Now, obviously, getting the money together is not easy for everyone. And I'm very fortunate to have had the support that affords me the ability to travel and be able to put on these performances. I'm just very grateful to even be in a situation where I can do this essentially full time as an idol. But that's not attainable for everyone. And that's why I think a lot of people with goals to be an idol, they don't need to think about Japan. They don't need to worry about, oh, if I want to be an idol, I have to learn Japanese. I have to go to Japan. Especially where we are right now, that is not something you have to worry about at all. I will tell somebody that wants to do those things, yes, you do need to be learning the language of the country that you want to go to if you want to work there as an idol, absolutely. But if you're just trying to be a cute little idol and perform here in the States, no, you don't have to. Your music doesn't have to be in Japanese, only if you want to, you know. The criteria for being an idol is completely up to the individual. And I honestly think a lot of people disagree with me on that, but this is my yap and I'm just sharing my opinions. And I only say that because I think for me, I never really respected the definition of what an idol is, because in Japan there's just so many limitations put in place that kind of make it feel helpless for a lot of us anyway, that I was like, well, I'm just gonna do this on my own terms. And that's what I've been doing ever since I came back to America. I'm not the main authority on who is or isn't an idol. If you come up to me at a show and tell me that you want to be an idol, to me, you're already an idol in that moment. This is why it's important to like kind of figure out what your goals are, you know? But honestly, being idol is like anything else in the entertainment industry. There is a path that somewhat lays before you, and it's your job to kind of like figure out how to keep paving it for yourself. Figure out which way to go. And it's a blessing and a curse, because in one way, oh, it's not really clear how I can pursue being an idol. But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, if there's no clear steps or path for me, then I can kind of do whatever I want and see what sticks, right? So that's kind of like where I've been for my entire journey. It's not easy, but it's a lot of fun. Mindset, be realistic, and pave your own path. I don't know if that's 3 steps or if I just said 1 step in a bunch of words, but be realistic about where you are and figure it out from there. It's not impossible. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. To prove it to you, if you didn't know, I am doing a show with my friend, Cybergirl, called Color Your Universe. If you don't know already, Cybergirl is like a YouTuber, I guess. I don't know what she calls herself, but she is a YouTuber and she does primarily J fashion content. We've known each other for a very long time, and she's never done idol before. But she has been very supportive to me since the day we've met about my idol journey. And it has finally come to a place where I have dragged her into the depths of idol hell so she can try to do this with me. Christina is starting at square 0. No formal training, no informal training or anything. She's just been on a different path her whole life, and now she kind of wants to see, is she gonna take that idol path or not? And I'm forcing her to join me. So yes, she is taking that path. The show is about 2 months away, and tickets are out now if you want to come see us. But it is like a very rewarding journey, going from like square 0 with somebody to seeing how they are coming along. We've been working so hard on this show. Y'all have no idea, for real. It's been crazy. That's another thing about being an idol. When I say you have to pave your own path, I really meant you have to pave your own path. When it comes to Color Your Universe, I perform a lot. Last year was my busiest year as an idol. I'm so grateful for those opportunities, but I desperately want to keep growing and improving myself and kind of setting my own standard. And I have these really maybe grandiose dreams for myself, that I want to have these really big shows that have like a lot going on, and I have to work to get to that point. But a part of that is trying to put on my own shows. So it's very labor intensive. It's very logistically chaotic because I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's also very a financial sinkhole. But we ball. I decided I'm just gonna put on my own show and it's gonna be on my terms. And if it's crazy, then at least I know a little bit what I did wrong, or I guess what I could improve on the next time I want to do this. If I want to keep doing this, or if I just want to stick with doing the cons and stuff. I love community events. Like every other part of the country, people are putting on community idol events all the time. And I'm super jealous because like we just don't have what it seems like the other states have. So I'm kind of taking matters into my own hands with Color Your Universe, and then last year I did my one man, you know? I want to do something that's like wholly for me, that I like have more control over, that is a little silly and fun. And we sold out the show last year, so like I know people are hungry for it, and I'm just really excited to see what happens this year. You know, I want to see as many people there as possible, obviously. I want to do so much crazy stuff. I think it's going to be a really good time. And I really want Christina to have a very good debut, you know? I never really had a good debut. I've never had like, you know, I just kind of started doing this in a hallway somewhere. I don't even know when the first day was. I don't know if I would call it a debut. I've never had a birthday live or anything official really celebrating my progress as an idol other than the one man last year. So I would like to give people the chance to have the things that I want while also still doing for me, because I really want to keep being an idol for as long as I can, and I love doing it with people who are also excited to join the journey. Basically, you don't have to be Japanese to be an idol. You don't have to learn Japanese to be an idol. You don't have to go to Japan to be an idol. But what do you actually need? Effort. So stay realistic, stay delusional, stay dedicated, stay diligent, and come to my show with Christina, Color Your Universe. I don't think y'all realize exactly how hard it is to put on standalone events versus just showing up to an event that already exists. The more people that show up and support these events, the more that they can happen, the more that they can grow and become something even bigger, or blossom into something that we didn't even know was possible. So I need y'all to come color your universe. It would mean a lot if you came out. I am working every bone in my body. I want to see it blossom into something beautiful. So get your tickets for our show. I have to go. I have to talk to Christina. But before I do, I just want to say I really do appreciate the support that I've received over the years. It has been such a rewarding, terrifying, beautiful journey of pursuing my dreams, and I want to keep it going for as long as possible. I am completely realistically delusional that I can make something very beautiful and meaningful if I just keep going. So I'm not giving up anytime soon, and I hope you guys are sitting right in the cockpit with me, and I want to see you at Color Your Universe. But yeah, thanks. And if you want to see a real video where I am like answering some really specific questions, I do have like a Q&A on my Instagram that I never answered that I will probably want to get to some of those questions. But leave a question in the comments, a real question on something specific that you want to achieve as an idol. It can't be a broad question, you know? You have to really sit down and think about, what does idol mean to you and what are you trying to achieve? And whatever question derives from that, leave it in the comments. I really want to see where your mind is at, and I really want to try to help if I can. So I will probably do a video on that eventually. But I guess you won't know unless you subscribe and keep tabs on me and come to Color Your Universe September 4th, 2026. in San Antonio, Texas at Stable Hall. Bye.